Hello, this video is going to show you how to use the Accommodations Logger, a tool that I made to help you log and track all the accommodations for all of your students. So the first thing you have to do on the start page is click Start Accommodation Logger. And when you do this, it's going to run a little script and it's going to make you accept the permissions. You're basically authorizing the script to work. We'll hit Continue. Got to select your school email and then select Allow. And that's going to do nothing until you click Start Accommodation Logger again. And now Start page goes away, and what we get are three other pages. This is the main page, the class lookup page. This is where you're going to look up each one of your classes to see who's got whatever accommodations that you have to fulfill on a daily basis. This little button right here, this is in B2, so it'll drop down. There's nothing on here now because we haven't entered any classes, but as we enter students, then we're going to add their periods, and then the periods will be selectable here. I'm going to click this button to update classes. I'll show that in a second. The most important button, though, is this Add Student. When I click this, a little box appears on the right, and this is where I add all of this information for each student that has accommodations in my class. First name, last name, ID, class period is vital. That's how the accommodations get looked up, so it's very important that you enter that. And then you designate if they have 504, dyslexia, SPED, if they're ESL. You can put the required number of minutes that a student might have, and then any notes that would pertain to the student that you'd want to make sure you take care of, or some notes that might be specific to a kind of accommodation, like if they have extra time, how much extra time. You might want to put that in that note. And then down here, I've got View Master Accommodations List. This is important mainly because there's 108 accommodations in these lists, and it's not that clear where each one is. These are the categories: common, materials, assignments, testing, time management. But some of these accommodations you could argue could be on one or many or maybe even all of these. So to help figure out where an accommodation might be, if you click on View Master Accommodation List, that's going to open up a sheet that has them all listed out. So if I was going to do, for example, calculator, well, that's on the materials accommodations. You could argue that it could be in other places as well, like maybe testing, if they're allowed to have a calculator. But this way you'd be able to find these really quick. And these are all in alphabetical order, so you should be able to figure out where the accommodation you're looking for is fairly quickly. And then when you're done with this sheet, you just click Hide Sheet, and that goes away. And then when I want to select accommodations, common, those are the most common that we see. So they're in various categories. Let's say the student breaks assignments into smaller chunks, extra time to complete work, maybe oral at student request. All I do is click the toggle next to the accommodation that the student has, and I just go down and select the ones that pertain to that student. And I can go down the list and look at all of them, but I'll let you do that. And let's put this other stuff in here. So this would be, make a name there, the ID, second period, and he's 504, he's got 30 minutes. And I did say extra time, so we'll just go 50% extra time on assignments. There we go. So once I've got everything that I need for Greg Jacobs, then I go down here and click Submit Student. That's going to run this little script, and it gets me ready for the next student. Now, though, if I go over here, there's second period. I click that and click Update Class, and lo and behold, there's Greg, and all of his accommodations will be blue. That shows that he has that accommodation. Only the accommodations present in this class will be up here in these columns. So students with other accommodations, those will appear in new columns, and students with the same accommodation will just appear in the same column. And then here's my note, and here's the amount of time. So it's pretty simple to add these in. And when you get going, you'll find that you'll be able to put all of your kids in fairly quickly. Now, there are times, though, when a student might have an accommodation that is just not listed anywhere. They have a specific accommodation that's just unique to them. So if that's the case, and that will be the case, you would use this button, Add Custom Accommodation. I just click this, and that opens up a little screen. This would list all the custom accommodations that I might have, because I can use them for various students. And let's say the student is allowed to eat in class. And I would add this to the list. And when I do that, it's going to be on this list right here. Maybe I have another accommodation as well. Maybe I have a student that can visit office to call home on request. That would be an odd one. So, but a student might have it. Add that to the list. Now it's on that list. So I've got the custom accommodations in, return to the student entry, and now I'm going to enter that student. And so let's say his name is John Reynolds. He's also in second period. He's special ed dyslexia. He's also that. He gets frequent breaks, reduced length of assignment, maybe not. And let's see, he's got a handwriting accommodation, but he also has custom. So I click on custom accommodations and then select the ones that apply to him. And then I click submit student. So now he's going to update as well. And when I add another student, what I have to do though is update the class. It's not going to update automatically. I've got to do that one little step. And then he's going to appear in the second period little guy here. And so these are all his designations. And both these guys have break into smaller chunks, but they have individually these right here. Now, the custom accommodation doesn't appear on this screen. Instead, it's down here over here. So I click this, and let's see, Greg has none. He's still on the list, but John has these 2 custom accommodations. So they will be blue. And the copy you get will have this clipped, so you won't see the extra text on a field like this. So this one here looks a little bit different than the copy that you're going to get. The other little screen here that you've got is common accommodations. This might be handy. So for second period, for example, these are the accommodations that are fairly common for multiple students. And so you want to get a list of the kids that might have oral everything. You read everything to them, or oral on request. If I've got 5 kids in one class in second period, then they will be on this list right here. And so he has extra time as well. These are all some of the fairly common accommodations. So let's add one more student. Go back over here, and we'll add another one. We're already here. And let's say this is Mary Jacobs. She's actually in 4th period. She's 504, and she's also ESL. And she's got just a couple. We'll just hit submit. So put Mary in there. Now she's 4th period, so she's not going to appear on this list at all. But if I go to here, now I have 4th period. Click that, and I click update class, and now Mary's going to appear here. And that's Mary. And when I have more 4th period kids, they're going to show up there. And so if I look at custom accommodations, Mary's the only one on my list. She doesn't have any. These are the custom accommodations that are available to all students. So they're going to show up here. And common, extra time would be Mary. So she would have a common accommodation. So this is pretty straightforward. If you make a mistake, there is a way to fix a mistake or to edit a student, but it's a little bit tricky. So the best thing to do is just to re-enter that student. And then otherwise, this should work for you. If you have any questions, let me know.